Oh my gosh!
Look at more gum.
Did you hear? I thought he was going to say, and it was just grinding, and I just wanted to just call it quits. But you said no, it was cool.
It was, dude.
That's crazy.
My kids
for
loved.
you.
I came home with Hubba Bubba and all that. You remember that gum that was in a pack, and it was like
Chew is Big League Chew.
Big League Chew. They made dude. I made Big League Chew
what a
for
great,
like 6
what a
or
great
7 months.
invention.
It was a great.
That's what your family was eating too.
You could.
What do you have for dinner tonight?
Big
Gum
League.
souffle. Welcome to Profits to the Profits, where all things are possible when love is your bottom line. All are welcome here. Entrepreneurs, business professionals, tradespeople, prosecutors, DAs, and the falsely accused. Doesn't matter. Just give us 20 minutes. We just think you might get something out of it. I am Steve.
And I'm Al.
How you doing, Al?
I'm doing great. And I love when you do the intro. I count how many cool things you've come up with of the people who are welcomed.
Yeah.
I just love it. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I try to make it, something unique for a podcast intro.
You're so creative.
All right. Thank you very much. As always, we like to get started with something to talk about that's lighthearted, a little conversation about something simple yet significant. And so I came up with this. What do you think are some of the best inventions ever?
Oh, good question. Well, I love cars, so I'm thinking cars.
Okay.
One of the best inventions ever.
Okay.
Cars.
Sure, that's a big one.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying this is our Keurig pooped out a couple days ago. Something broke in it, so I went out and bought another Keurig.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's just the best thing, man. You wake up in the morning, you pop a Keurig in, and you make coffee.
Yeah, you hit a button and you walk away.
Keurig.
Think about all we had to do in the past, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, we had a coffee maker.
Right.
That had a thing, and you had to make 10 cups. Or else figure out how to make 2 cups or enough. It just didn't work out. Mm-hmm. All that mess.
It's messy. It's time consuming. The coffee, I think, is better when you brew it, especially when you brew it in a big, big pot. But
true.
So another invention I thought about, which is absolutely amazing, which I should look up because I would like to find out when it was invented, is Velcro.
Oh, I hear Velcro was made up by NASA. Like a lot of things come out of NASA,
sure, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think duct tape came out of NASA.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure Velcro was a NASA thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most things are NASA.
That's cool.
I don't know about heated seats, but heated seats in cars.
I don't like heated seats. I like air-conditioned seats.
Okay.
I'm always hot, even in the winter.
Oh, okay. There's so many of those small things that are all around us that someone came up with. They're like, okay, this is getting annoying that this is happening, so I'm going to create this, make this, invent this.
Solve a problem.
To solve a problem. Some of them are just like, they're just people dealt with the problem forever until finally someone came along and said, all right, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
I'm going to make this. And then so they design something and they just use it for themselves.
Yeah.
And then somebody says, hey man, can I have one of those things?
That's a good idea. Yeah. We were just talking about this. There is, let's just say, I guess covers for, what are they called? Carriers for babies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so we were thinking, why don't you make a cover? Well, why don't you make a cover? Like when you're strolling around the supermarket, you make like a cover for a baby to sit in, so that it doesn't have to touch all the dirty, germy stuff.
Mm.
Why don't we make a cover for us when we're sitting in restaurant seats or something? Because they're dirty and nasty.
Okay.
Babies. Why are we always protecting babies? You know what I mean? What about us?
I know they're the ones that need to get exposed to this stuff to help build their immune system.
I know they need that germs.
One invention idea that I've still have is something that's on a plane. When you're on a plane, you want to take a nap, right? Mm-hmm. It's maybe a 3-hour flight.
Yep.
How do you sleep?
Sitting up, leaning back. Why?
Yeah. So I always thought have something that just inflates. It's real simple.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a little, basically pillow.
Oh yeah.
But it just you inflate it, and then you just like lean forward on it.
Oh, that's a great idea. So it's taking up the whole space on the airline.
So
it's just right there, like
it's
a big,
right there.
Big square thing. And
it leans like against the seat in front of you,
and you blow it up.
So it's and then you just lean and sleep.
I think somebody invented that already.
There is something, but no one marketed it.
Let's do it. Take this invention.
Let's do it.
All the way.
Okay, well, that loosely brings us to the topic of the day. And the topic of the day is... lessons learned.
Lessons learned.
All right, as with all of those inventions, the process of getting to them to the market, the people behind those businesses and the products certainly had a lot of lessons that they learned as they worked through in making those inventions. So if you could talk to them today, they would probably have some good advice about what to do and what not to do on the journey of discovery. And that's what we're going to talk about today when it comes to starting a business, because that's what we're loosely about, basically about Profits to the Profits is, business and professional life and everything. So we're going to break it down because obviously you have a ton of experience with this. We're going to break it down into 3 specific areas. Okay. We got the financial aspect of starting a business, the spiritual things that you learn from starting a business, and the relational that we learned. So let's go, Al. So,
dude,
very good. Which one do you want to start with? You want to start with spiritual, financial, or relational?
Oh, I totally want to start in order. I like that.
Yeah.
So let's start with spiritual.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Spiritual.
What did I learn starting a business?
Yeah. So here you are. You got Ryan and Ben and, church-going guys, and you guys connected, through the grace of God, led your paths together. But all along the way, it's just been, I assume, lots of things that you've learned about your spiritual life through this, right?
What I've learned about spiritual life, so starting a business, first off, was very scary. And doing something hard, like a lot of people start off life with this dream of, hey, I want to be this, I want to do that. And then they start a journey that sometimes is already predetermined. It's like, oh, well, if you want to do that, you got to go to college and you got to go here. Then you got to get an intern at a firm. And then you know what I mean? Starting a business also has a pattern, right? But it's not written out, so to speak, right? When you're an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily go to college and say, hey, I want to go to be an entrepreneur. But constantly when people start something, there is a fear of, is it going to work out? Is it going to be successful, right? No matter who you are, it's just always in all of us, right? And so spiritually, I was able to just give that to God right away and ask him, hey, Lord, can you be involved in this? And please help me, right? Can you guide me in this way? Can you give me wisdom? And it allowed me to have the ability to rely on him more often than if I was showing up, punching a clock. You know what I mean? Because all of my income would be coming from something that someone else wasn't responsible for. It would be me.
Right.
So as I'm sitting, in my office or sitting at home when we started our business, I was just like, hey, the only person that I have to answer to right now is my wife, because you got to answer your wife, and God, right? And, having that direct connection to him for anything I was, looking for. But, man, I was afraid to start. Even just starting was, hey, I was asking my pastor to pray for me. I was asking people, hey, pray. My partner and I were planning and doing everything we were supposed to do, I think. But, man, we started asking people to pray and asking for advice. And it was very scary. And I think when you're facing something that's hard, that you don't know the outcome of, it forces you to rely on the Lord, right?
Right.
Or more on yourself, right? And I just chose to rely more on the Lord, right? And throughout the time when we started, years later, throughout that time of growing the business, I found more and more opportunities to rely on him and to study in his word, or to, again, ask for prayer or pray myself. And it was like difficult when you go ahead and say to somebody, hey, I want you to do nothing, right? Because when you ask for prayer and you study in God's word, it feels like you're doing nothing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like you're doing nothing.
Yeah, well, definitely, yeah. The Bible even says to stay still.
Yeah.
Be still.
That feels like
be still.
That's not normal.
No.
Like,
especially for somebody building a business.
Yeah. I got to answer this phone. I got to call this person back. I got to do this invoice. I got to, all this stuff. And you're like, you got to do that stuff, right? But in order to be successful, or for it to go well today, or whatever, for you to make payroll on Friday, you need to pray and studying God's word. And why would that be a thing? Why is that even a thing is what I've realized.
Yeah.
I have to ask that. Why do you think it's a thing?
Yeah.
You have to include that in there.
Seeking God through all the...
There you go.
Yeah,
you know that verse?
Yeah. Yeah. Seek with all your heart, mind, soul.
Yeah.
That one.
And then all these things will be added onto you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I got to see that in my life as an actual action that you can take. So, being in prayer or studying God's word didn't become a nothing to me. It became an action that was so powerful and is so powerful. It's probably more powerful than just picking up that next phone call.
Yeah.
And in doing that, because if I'm picking up a phone call for whatever, a vendor's calling or whatever, or I could say, hey, Lord, I could pick up the phone call to God. Which would you rather do? What's more powerful in your life?
Yep. Yep.
And it's amazing how that has played out. And I just love how being an entrepreneur puts you very close to having to rely on, there's like no safety net in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how my viewpoint is on it.
Yep. Yep. And that verse is Matthew 6:33, I think is what you were referring to.
Read it for
But
us.
seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. So there were a lot of times, I assume, during your process over the last 20 years that you forgot that and you had to go back to it.
I tell you what, I totally did. And things were going bad at sometimes. When it comes to what you can focus on is important. Like that verse, if you can bring that up again, that verse itself, if I'm going to put the kingdom of God first, then the things of this world, like money, right? Like just doing my daily tasks, are melted away by the focus on God's kingdom. So what does he care about in his kingdom? He cares about more people being in his kingdom. He wants us to be fishers of men. He wants us to tell about his good works. He wants people to obviously go and disciple and baptize and spread the good news of the gospel. Like that's what he cares about.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about whether I made another sale or whether or not, you know what I mean? These little daily things. I mean, he does care about them in a sense, but they're not in his kingdom focus.
Right.
What's great is that when you go ahead and, like I have a situation where Ben and I got in a bind and we're going to lose our house at one time. Both of our mortgages were like behind 3-4 months. And that gets into a situation where, you got to fill out a ton of paperwork and, hopefully you can redo it. And, they set up a new payment plan, then they extended another 10 years, just to like get it. I mean, we were both in that situation together, right? And the only way out of it, right, I thought was like, I got to get another job. Okay?
Yeah.
Now here I'm running a business with Ben, and I work in the business. It's not like, I'm going to go ahead and just point at people.
Right.
I was doing the work of the business. Then I was working on the business after hours. I had 4 kids at the time. My wife was a stay-at-home mom, and I got a second job.
Yeah.
And I'm like every night going to this gum factory. Okay.
Really?
It was cool because I got to eat as much.
I got to eat a lot of gum. What a great attitude. Working a second job, and it was cool because I got gum.
Yeah.
What a great attitude.
I got to take home gum. My kids thought I was the king.
Oh, my gosh.
Look at more gum.
Did you hear? I thought he was going to say, and it was just grinding, and I just wanted to just call it quits. But you said, no, it was cool.
It was, dude.
That's crazy.
My kids
for
loved. I came home with like, Hubba Bubba and all that. Remember that gum that was in a pack, and it was like
Chew is Big League Chew.
Big League Chew. They made Dude, I made Big League Chew
for
for like 6 or 7 months.
Invention.
It was a great.
That's what your family was eating too.
You could.
What do you have for dinner tonight?
Big
Gum
League.
souffle.
Dude.
Gum pizza.
Oh man.
Eat it.
While I'm there, okay, I got to share my faith with these people that I was working with.
Yeah.
Okay. Couldn't it be that God's plan,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, absolutely.
Was to allow whatever happened in our business to happen in our business so that I could be at that gum factory to share my testimony in Christ with somebody. I mean, come on now, guys. That's how kingdom
What
focus
year was
works.
that?
Oh man, that's a good question. It was like 3-4 years into our business.
So it was before I started?
No, you were. No, you. Hold on a second. No, Billy and you. No, it was right before you started.
Okay, I was going to say, wow, I feel horrible for not knowing about that.
No, when you started, you made everything go well. Like seriously,
Okay.
I'm not. No, we had a few people we hired before you guys.
Right.
That just one of them didn't work out, and when you got 50% of your workforce that doesn't work out,
Yeah.
it hurts.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But no, when you started,
Don't touch me.
yeah, when you started, you and Raul, you turned things around.
Okay, good. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, we didn't have it. And so keep in mind, that's kingdom focus.
Mm-hmm.
And so my viewpoint, instead of being begrudging about it,
Mm-hmm.
I look back on that as like, oh, that was a blessing.
Yeah.
And my wife even looks back on that.
Yeah.
She wrote in a note one time on Father's Day about like how I was as a father, and she put that down. It's like you were even willing to get a second job at night and somehow, provide for the family. And I look back at that, I'm like, oh, that's really nice. She thinks
Wow.
highly of that.
Wow.
But I look at it as like, hey, the Lord had a plan, and He wanted to put me in a place
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and I'm like grateful for that. And that's kingdom focus. So that got me to remember during that time. Sometimes you just have a struggle, and you're like, oh, this is so hard. I want it to end. But what if you, you know what I mean? What if you missed out
Yeah.
on the very purpose that was happening?
Yeah.
And it could be had nothing to do with you. Maybe you were supposed to help somebody.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's how God works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, keeping that perspective. So let's pivot now from that experience, because it also, I mean, there's a great segue there. You can go one of two ways: financially, because you were talking about your struggles financially, or relationally, because you were talking about, how it was dealing. So which one do you want to go to, financially or relationally?
Let's go with financial.
Okay, financial. So you almost lost your house. You were working at a gum factory. I mean, starting a business is not. It's not something you could just, throw a little bit of money at. You got a business started.
Yeah.
So what have you learned financially from when you started throughout? Go ahead. You take it away.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to finances, it all sums up to this, that the Lord has, and He's wrote it in His Word, and you might have missed it because people overlook it, okay? That if you are faithful with a little, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are faithful with little, then He will give you much. So when it comes to finances, I apply that. Like how He wants you to take care of what He has given you, and you honor Him with it.
Mm-hmm.
Then there will be growth in that. But too many people think about the big stuff. They think about, the big win and the big windfall or whatever they're going after. But it's about that one penny. You know what I mean? Like it's about that little thing you save, or that. And I'm not talking about being a hoarder or being somebody who is, pinching everything and has a non-generous spirit, right?
I'm a miser.
A miser, thank you. I'm not talking about being a miser. I'm talking about because God wants you to be generous, but He wants you to care for these things that are small so that He will grow you and give you more to be responsible for, right? But that's the key. It's not yours, right? So when it comes to finances, I learned over time that, because when I started the business, I wanted to make money. I want to make a lot of money. It was like, and in the first few years, I realized, man, I'm not making any money. And I'm working at the gum factory for that time, and this is not working out. And I'm like, but throughout the time, He kept on reminding me, hey, I want you to be faithful with these little things, and then I'll give you more little by little. And it wasn't that it was mine to be used however I wanted. It was that it was His, and that if I had $5 in my hand because He provided it and somebody needed it, I can't hold on to it. Like that $5 is not mine. I have to give it to that person. And so little by little, what I realized is I don't have to really just, again, be a miser or penny pincher. I don't have to hoard what I have, or even, He says in His Word, like, hey, you can store up, make a new greenhouse and store up your wealth in it and whatever, but then tomorrow you die. And then what happens with that grain that you just, or that new house, a new barn to store things up with? It's just not important, right? The Lord can provide from all different facets. So even times when we were down financially, which happens in growing a business, He would send money maybe in the mailbox. we get like a check in the mail, or we get food given to us. It doesn't have to be monetary, but like he provided from other sources whenever it was needed, from things I didn't necessarily think would come.
Yeah.
And so when you rely on the Lord and you act as if, again, you're a steward of someone else's things, the God of the universe is giving you this to just care for, it changes your perspective about it. And if you care about these little things and you add in that, again, that responsibility, and his perspective about it with a generous spirit, and realizing that, again, I'm not looking to keep it all for myself, then he blesses that, right? And it's not, I'm not talking about financial blessing. He just blesses that, so that I'm just a conduit, it's just a place to put things until it's put somewhere else where he wants it. Yep. And that's kind of how I think we should look at finances. And if we don't, the Lord himself will come and try to, he'll work with you throughout your life, as he's done with me, to hopefully get you to that point. But I think it's a blessing to be free of that. I see people who, again, are misers, or somebody who's really locked up with attaining more and more wealth. I don't think that's where it's at.
All right. And then, of course, a big thing about that whole financial situation is, which I think you're alluding to, is tithing.
Oh, yeah.
So were you able to tithe that whole time? Or did you kind of go back and forth with the amount of tithe? Did you go periods of time where you don't tithe? A lot of people really get hung up on that. It's really a tough, that's the true test of faith. You're making $2,000 a month. And you're just barely making it. You're like, I have no money for anything, but I got to, off the top, give $200. And it's like eesh. So.
Yeah, so when my wife and I got together, before we started the business, a couple of years in, we got a message about tithing that I was asking her about. All right, this is a couple years into our marriage. And we worked through that before we started the business, like in our relationship, so to speak. It was like, well, okay, let's do this. And at the time we got married, we had a baby already, 2 kids, because I came into the marriage with my older daughter. And yeah, it was like, we got a mortgage to pay, we got food, we got bills, and I would pay them all, right? And here I'm going to go ahead and give 10% first. And that was a unique thing. So I did that. But out of faith, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just not going to buy food. I was like, what do I not pay? Do I not pay the electric bill, or do I not buy food? And she was like, oh, we'll just go without food, so to speak, as a new thing into our budget that week, because we had some food in the fridge and we had, whatever, we'll figure it out. So in that sense, I'm going to go ahead and speak about what happened. This was a Saturday. And then on Monday, we got, because we had a mortgage for a year and a half, we got a check in the mail on Monday. Okay. That was like, oh, you paid more in your escrow. You ever get one of those? And I didn't know anything about mortgages, but it was my first year in, you know.
Yeah.
And they like gave me money back on Monday. So on Saturday, I decided to give the tithe on Sunday, right? And then Monday, I got a money back from this mortgage thing. I'm like, oh, the Lord was faithful. And so I went and bought food with that stuff. So my point is like, that taught me to be faithful in tithing, no matter what the outcome visually, logically looks like to me. So that's just like walking by faith. So I learned that earlier. And so even through the struggle of the business finances, it was like, no, whatever I have been given by the Lord, I'm going to give 10% to. And yes, there's going to be some things that visually and logically, I'm going to have to say, well, I'm not going to be able to do that. But I can guarantee you he showed up every single time. Every single time with like, yeah, we don't have food. It would be like, I remember a couple times my mom would come in our house and go in the fridge, and she'd be like, you can't have food in here. You got to feed these kids. And I'm like, she's like, you got to go get a job. Forget about this business thing, She said it a couple times. She was concerned, right? And I'm like, yeah, Mom, we're going to be all right. And she would go buy food, right? I'm like, but God used her a couple times to buy food for us. So I did that earlier than starting the business with my wife. It's a discipline, right? And I don't think I ever did it begrudgingly, because the Lord would like you to be generous and a wonderful. I get like almost like an endorphin rush, I guess. I get like a happy feeling when I get to give back to God's work what he's given to me, a portion of, right? Or there's a need where I find somebody in need and get to help them. I think that's the most, I don't know, exciting thing you can do, right? For people around you and for the Lord, right? I just think it's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
What have you learned finally, relationally, in starting a business?
Ooh, man, there's a priority that God has set up in our world. So first off, God is first. Love God, right? And then love others. And God is written in the way we come together, like in marriage. He's created marriage. And he's written an order of priority. And if you are married, he wants you to take care of your wife first, right? And so, we become one flesh, and he's written much about that. And so what I noticed about like starting a business, yes, it's something I got to provide for, and starting a business does take some extra effort than most careers, will say. And that's what I notice anyways. But only if it's by choice, right? Like I can decide to work 20 hours a day, right? And I might get a really big return on that effort. I might, right? But I can also just work 8 hours a day. And then fill the rest of the time in with things that my wife needs or my children need or my church family needs. You know what I mean? Like there's all this stuff that I could be doing to, say, get my business more successful and maybe get more financially stable, whatever it might be. But other things would fail, right? And so relationships can fail by you focusing just on your business. And then you're left with what? You might have a very successful business, and then your kids don't like you because you didn't show up for them when you were supposed to, and your wife doesn't like you anymore. Maybe you're on your second or third wife. Honestly, that happens. I mean, I see it out there. You might know people. I know people. And I might have been at risk of that personally a couple times.
Okay. Lessons learned, yeah. So you learned some lessons on that.
Yeah, I mean, my wife had to remind me several times, like, you do own the business. You can leave whenever you want. You do. Hey, this thing is happening at 4. You got to be there. And she would remind me, like, you got to be there. This is your son's thing. This is your daughter's thing, and you should be there. And I'm like, yeah. Now my kids and my wife are very accommodating. So while I'm going through life and showing up for things, I have had a phone that I'm like doing things on, right?
Yeah.
Or take a call.
Yeah.
And I've been on vacations, right? I remember my son was on my shoulders. We're walking through like I don't know, maybe it was around Washington. We're walking through like their cemeteries there or something like that. And, I'm on the phone. He's on my shoulders. My wife's got a pen in her hand and she's writing down like somebody wanted to order something. There's that kind of thing that happens. And my kids are okay with that. And they think it's interesting and whatever. They might help me in some way. And a couple of them have come into our business and stuff. But I definitely learned, if you want to have, I guess, the abundance that the Lord wants for you, he wants you to live life to the full. It's not business that he's talking about.
Yeah.
It is definitely a relational. God is a relational God.
Yeah.
He has a personal relationship with you. He sent his son to die for you. He wants to reclaim a relationship with you. He loves you, right? He does not want you to feed your life with business. He wants it to be about the people around you that you can influence for him and just be hands and feet, right, of his glory and his grace and his mercy and his generosity. He wants you to interact with people and be that light and salt here, not growing a business bigger or getting more money. Like, that's obvious, right? And you can say that you know that, right? But man, where do you spend your time? Are you at dinner?
Yeah.
Do you leave your job, right, or your business to actually eat dinner with your family? That's going to tell me whether you really believe it or not. Do you tuck your kids in at night, or do you make the excuse, I got work I got to still do? Like, do you show up for their events? Do you take your wife on a date, and not work? Like that, where do you spend your time? Do you show up even for church events and doing God's work? Do you go to, do you close your business so you can go to church, right? My point is that you can make all the excuses you want because it's a responsibility of yours. I got to do this. But if you own a business, you make up your own schedule, honestly. And it's even somebody might say, "Oh, I'm beholden to my customer." No, your customer understands that there's business hours. My wife would have to share that with me. You don't have to answer that phone at 11 o'clock at night, Al, on Saturday, because people understand business hours, right? And they respect that too. So that's kind of what I learned about relationships. You got to put them first. The Lord will provide the rest. If you're worried about getting enough and growing enough and providing, if you seek first his kingdom, and part of his kingdom is how you treat your wife and your children, right? And his sons and daughters, how you treat them, and your brothers and sisters in Christ, if you know him. That's what he cares about, right? Not your business being bigger or more money in your bank, right? Because he can give you all, right? He can give you all that he wants without you doing it. I noticed that.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Awesome. So those are the 3 points: spiritually, financially, relationally. Things that you should consider. Lessons learned by Al here, starting a business 15, 16, 18 years ago.
19 this year.
I said 19. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
Next year will be 19, sorry.
Wow. Okay.
Man.
Awesome. Thanks for that.
Wow.
So I'll ask you, do you know what time it is now?
Something fun.
All right, here's what I have queued up for you. I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 statements of fact.
All right.
But you got to tell me if they're actually fact. That might be false.
Okay, cool.
It has to do with inventions.
Oh, yeah.
Facts or non-facts about inventions. I'm going to say one by one, and you're going to tell me if it was true or false. Number 1, the microwave oven was discovered by accident.
True.
That is true. Engineer Percy Spencer noticed that microwaves from radar equipment had melted a candy bar in his pocket.
Crazy.
That observation helped lead to the microwave oven.
Ooh, I wonder how much gamma rays he took before he realized he put a shield on something.
All right, Nikola Tesla hated pearls.
Nikola Tesla hated pearls. That sounds so weird. I don't know. How about false?
That is true.
Oh.
He was so bothered by pearls that he sometimes refused to speak to women if they were wearing pearls in their jewelry.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. He was an interesting character.
Okay. Next one. Elon Musk was a highly recruited hockey player.
False.
That is false. He was not a hockey player.
No?
No.
What did he play? Cricket?
Nothing. I don't think he played anything. He could have played cricket because he was from South Africa, right?
Yeah, I'd say he played cricket.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first computer programmer was a woman back in the 1840s.
Computer program of 1840s. Oh, man. I say false.
That is true.
What?
Ada Lovelace is credited with that. She wrote what is widely regarded as the first computer algorithm intended for a machine.
Wow.
The analytic machine.
No way.
1840s.
Are you kidding me? I gotta look this up. This is amazing.
Ada Lovelace. Okay.
Go Ada.
The inventor of the Frisbee did not invent it, intending it to be a toy.
True.
That's true. The Frisbee Pie Company sold pie tins that people began throwing around. The
No.
name eventually evolved into Frisbee.
Were you serious?
Yep.
No way. That's awesome.
And the final one, the Wright brothers were not actually brothers.
Oh, come on now. They definitely were brothers. I say false.
Instead, they're childhood friends. They were childhood friends so close that people just started calling them brothers.
Really?
Is that true or false?
Oh, I say that's false.
That is false.
I think they're brothers.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Guess I've seen their museum. And they're both brothers.
All right, you got it. All right, well, that is it for today. Remember, make sure you connect with us anywhere that you can find us on our socials. Subscribe to our channel. If you have anything you want to comment about today's discussion, do so below. If you want some prayer for something, prayer requests, we look them over and we'll definitely stop and pray for them. And we really appreciate you just sticking around for this discussion.
All right.
All right.
Lessons learned.
Lessons learned. Okay.
And what shall it profit a man
To gain the whole world.
but lose his own soul?
Prophets to the prophets you call, building up your life so you stand tall. Faith and fire driving every beat, motivation grounded with a